It's time for training. I should come up with a theme song. What do you think? Probably not. Okay. We are going to train it up today, friends. All right. So if you did not catch my YouTube from yesterday, I did a whole YouTube, walked everybody through how I created literally from start to finish in 1 hour. I only took 1 hour out of my day and made samples for the Father's Day collection because I want to get those out and under the noses of my customers because these are flipping fantastic scents, but getting the scent under my customers' noses, this is how they know what they might like, what they might want to order, you know, all the things, right? It kind of keeps them in the loop. And I like to do this once a month. So one time a month, I do one bulk mail out, okay? Now, it really ultimately depends on kind of my business budget and kind of what I'm sampling to determine exactly the number per se of people that I'm going to. So I'm going to preface this by saying I want you to really form this habit because we're creating a habit by doing this. I want you to form this habit based upon your business, not based on mine, because we're basing everything on your business. This is yours. This is my, right? This is my dance space. That is your dance space. Okay. So you get the point, right? So what I'm doing in my business, while it might scale up because I have a larger customer base, you may not have that larger customer base yet, okay? Especially if you're just starting out, or maybe you're re-jumping back into your business, or you're just relaunching, or all of the things, right? So if what I'm showing you, you're like, oh, that there's no way I have enough people to do that, that's fine. That's something to work towards, right? If you have way too many people, maybe you have more customers than I do. I don't know. So decide how many people you want to do this with. And that's kind of how I would encourage you to move forward with doing any type of mail out. Another piece to the mail out puzzle is also really being very conscious of your business budget. I budget myself. I run a business, right? This is my second full-time job over here, okay? And so I allocate money out of my Scentsy commission check every single month for next month business expenses, right? So everything that's going to be coming up, I allocate out. And so I make sure that I'm getting stamps, right? I need postage because I do some mail outs. I also allocate because I do send things to the people who are my club subscribers. So I send something to them. That's why I scale back and only do one batch mail out of samples every single month. With that being said, again, if your customer base is smaller and you're like, oh, I'd love to do like 2 or 3 batch mailings then by all means, you do you, boo, right? So you do what works for you. I'm just showing you what works for me and how I do it because this is what works in my current business. But I will say a lot of times that batch mail out that I'm doing is sometimes the scent of the month, right? Because I just want the scent of the month out, or maybe there's not a collection that I'm super excited about or that I haven't gotten yet, right? Whatever it is. So you don't necessarily have to just sample if we have like a new wax collection, right? Like I did the Father's Day collection, okay? If you don't have the Father's Day collection, if you didn't get it, if you don't like it, if it's not up to your liking, right? Not every scent is for everybody. That's the beauty of Scentsy. That's why we have so many scents, right? But I really feel that it's more authentic if I'm sending people things that I already like. And sometimes that's a scent of the month. Sometimes it's a wax collection, right? It really, honestly, just depends. But again, my business, my dance space, your dance space. Figure it out, okay? Make that decision. And maybe you don't have Scentsy Club subscribers, so maybe you're like, yeah, I can do a bigger batch of samples, or I can do maybe another batch of samples because I don't do any other mail outs, and that's perfectly fine too. Another thing that I will preface before I dig into the donuts here is I will say that this is not a requirement, right? You do not by any shape or means have to be mailing things to your customers, okay? For one, if you have local customers, hey, I will tell you first and foremost, if I had enough local customers, the majority of my customers are all out of state. If I had enough local customers, I would take like a 1 day a month or whatever, a couple hours a month, or like an hour or two a month, and I would literally do like porch drop-offs. That would be how I would do it, right? Because they're local customers. I can take a little bit of time out of 1 day out of a month, maybe it's a weekend, Sunday drive with my husband, throw them in the car and just drive around to the different places and just do a simple little porch drop with a thank you, right? You could totally do that. That, aside from gas, right, is really not going to be too much out of your budget if you're, again, not wanting or not able to mail things out, okay? So don't let these things hold you back. The whole point of me sharing this with you is showing you what I have learned over the years. So doing samples in the world of Scentsy is not new, okay? Probably, I guarantee you, before you even click that join button, you probably either had received a sample or you saw people making samples, or you heard about this is what people do in Scentsy. I don't know, right? Whatever. You probably have an idea. Maybe you've done it before. Maybe you haven't. That's what that last video is all about. Okay, how to make felt samples. So you can go back and watch that. It's on the YouTube channel. But here is the important piece. And this is a piece of making samples that I didn't really institute into my regular business practice until about 2 years ago. And I've been with Scentsy since 2012. Let me just tell you, I have sent out a lot of samples over the years. A lot. Given them out. I've mailed them out. I've done all of the things, right? But this was one thing that I'd never really kind of worked into my monthly routine. Once I started working it into my monthly routine and consistency in my business, I saw a major change with my customers. For one, I saw that customers were becoming more regular in purchasing, okay? Meaning they're coming back maybe once a month, maybe every other month, maybe even every quarter, right? Once a quarter, they're putting in an order because they're continuously getting something from me and experiencing new scents. Now, in the traditional sense, right, we would have a home party or things like that. I personally, for one, I told you already, right? I don't have a whole lot of local customers, and the ones that I do are not interested in doing home parties. But maybe you do home parties. Maybe you do events where you're handing out samples or doing a lot of that. That's awesome, right? So keep that up if that's what's working for you. But for me, the majority of my business is done online. The majority of my customers live nowhere near me. But what I saw is when I started actually following up on the samples that I was sending out, I saw a big ROI, a return on my investment, right? Investment in my time and investment in getting just the stamps and taking the time to do all of the things, right? Now, granted, I've kind of gotten it down to a nice little routine. Again, in that last video, I've gotten it down to, I can get all of this done. I literally showed you from start to finish how I do this in 1 hour. I just make it simple, quick, boom, right? So I pick 1 hour out of a month and I pick that day, and that's the day I'm going to get it done. I also explained in that video that it doesn't have to be 1 hour. If you don't have one solid hour you can do it, you can break it up. However, we have to do this next part. So that's why I thought this would be a really great topic to talk about today. So let's talk about, making these samples, right? So I just made some felt samples. As I talked about, these are going to be 1 stamp mailers. So today I'm actually writing out, or tonight rather, I'm writing out all of my envelopes. I like to personalize things and it brings me joy to do it. So I do it. If something makes me happy, if something brings me joy, I will do it. I love hand lettering. So I like to take my fun jelly rolls in the different colors. I love a good black envelope because it just pops when you write on that. So I like to hand write their name and their address. And then I just throw a return address label and a stamp, and boom, this guy goes out into the mail for 1 stamp. Again, I've budgeted that with my Scentsy, okay, with my Scentsy income. Now the question is, or the big difference, the second part of when we're doing samples, right? It's great to take that hour or more, however long it's going for you, to get those made and written up or typed up or printed out, right? And getting them out to the mailboxes, however long that took you, right? If you are not following up on those samples that you're sending, you're missing a big step, okay? And I only say this because I love you, and I also was missing this big step because over the years, right? Like I said, I've been doing this since 2012, and over the years, yes, I was making samples and sending them out, and I was like, okay, why is nobody ordering? Or how come only one person ordered when I sent all those out? Okay, here was the reasoning behind it, or what I found, anyway, to be the reasoning behind it is because I wasn't ever following up. I wasn't reaching out to those customers and saying, hey, I hope you got my happy mail. And I'd really love to know what you thought of fill in the blank, right? So if I'm sending like the scent of the month, which is what I did last month, right? How are you loving that Sunshine Mango? It's personally one of my favorites. I'm loving it. I warm it all the time, but I'd love to know, what did you think of it? This month, right? So I'm sending out the Father's Day collection. I have a big love for this Father's Day collection. Okay, all 3 scents are fantastic. My favorite one, in case you wanted to know, is Open Air Explore. Or Exploring. I think it is the bomb. I am obsessed. I've already added all 3 to my Scentsy club, but I love them, right? So again, it's something that I can authentically tell my customers and be genuine when I do that. That's, again, just one thing that I like to do. So that's why I chose that to be my monthly mail out. I also like to do just the felt samples because, again, I can get them out for 1 stamp, but I want to know, what do they think of the sample? Okay. What are they loving? Do they like, in this case, right? They're getting 3 felt samples. Do they like any of them? Do they have a favorite? Are they curious about adding it to a Scentsy club? Because is it something that they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot live without this one, right? Okay, like me, I cannot live without. Okay, it's going in my Scentsy club, right? So I'm going to be talking to my customers about that. Don't forget, we've got the Always Get My Bar feature. You're going to want to start a club if you don't already have one, because this is a scent that, trust me, you're going to want in the regular rotation, okay? So those are the conversations that I can be having. Now, the piece of the puzzle is, how in the world do you keep track? I have an answer for you. Here's how I keep track. So if you are unfamiliar with how I do my follow-ups, I use the binder system. Okay. All right. Again, this might seem like, oh gosh, Jacqui, I thought you were all electronic. Okay, I am electronic. I love my iPad. Okay, I'm on my iPad. I do all of my planning. I do a lot of things. I document schoolwork. Everything is done. Like a lot of it is done on my iPad, and that's wonderful. But for me, I really found that it just worked better for me to have my actual follow-up binder. So this is my follow-up binder. It quite literally has everything in it for my business that I work on. So it lives here in my office. I don't usually take it out of the office unless I plan to go somewhere and do some work. But this guy stays in my office. And so if you've missed this video, you can also go back in my YouTube channel. You can tag or look for this video, my binder system. I completely break it down. I share all of my templates with you. So you have a link to all of those templates. So not only do I track my monthly customers, I track my clubs, right? So Scentsy clubs, when people sign up, I also track my team. So when I'm working with my team, I also have my little checklist for my business in here. And then I, of course, track my samples. And let's go ahead, let me pull out, this is last month. So as I am mailing the Father's Day collection out, okay, I need to, because I've got last names on here. I don't want to show anybody's information. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. Okay, so this is my sample form. I'm going to link, or my sample follow-up checklist form, whatever, that is in my binder. I'm going to link the Canva template, because I make everything in Canva. I'm going to link that template down below so you can just use it as is. So all you have to do is just save that template, print it out. If you want to do the binder system like me, you can do that. Or if you just want to do this for samples, that's fine too. Or you can take this and then make it your own. Do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of Canva, right? We can personalize these things. So, all right, let me make sure I've got this up here so I'm not showing anybody's names. Okay, so actually, let me show you a blank one first. Just do it that way. All right, so this is my sample follow-up checklist. Okay, here we go. It's pretty simple. So at the top, I just have, oh, sorry, the fan is blowing. Okay, the sample follow-up. So I write the month. Remember, I do 1 month. I do a batch mail out, right? Okay, I do a batch mail out. So I write the month up there. And then I write the content. So then I write down what sample am I sending. In this case, right, for May, I'm going to write down Father's Day collection. And I actually will write like the 3 different names of the scents, because I don't know about y'all, but I will forget in some of these collections. What were those scents? Okay, I want to be able to remember. So when I look back, I can remember and I don't have to like look it up on the workstation again. Okay, make life easier for yourself. So samples there. And then if I put any extras in there, last month, I actually, like I said, I did the scent of the month sample. So I did a felt sample of the scent of the month. I also included the scent of the month flyer that we get in the scent of the month kit. So I wrote down, actually it's right here. So I wrote down club flyer, because I wrote, well, it kind of looks like this, pretty much, right? But it was just, it's based upon, actually, hold on, I have 2 left. Look, I have 2 left over here, which I should probably get out of my house. Anyway, so I just did, here's this little rack card, right? April showers, and it was the scent of the month right there, right? Sunshine Mango. I absolutely love it, by the way. And then there was the felt sample, and I just put it on the flyer. It's right there. So I just threw that onto the flyer. And then I did a quick post-it note. So I just wrote on a post-it note very quickly, just like a fun little message. I just like to personalize it just a little, not craziness, but just a little. If you don't want to do that, you could always just write on the back. If you're doing like a rack card or a postcard or something, you could do it that way. But again, it's just a way to kind of personalize it for me. So that's what I wrote down on the extras. And then I put a follow-up date. Because we're going to follow up, right? We're going to reach out to the people that we're sending these samples to and ask them, what did they think, right? Okay, we're just asking opinions. We're not asking somebody to buy a house. We're not asking somebody to co-sign on a car loan for us, right? You guys, we were just asking people, did you like what I sent you? Okay, so if you're like, oh, I don't want to have to reach out again. It's going to feel awkward. Are they going to be annoyed because I'm reaching back? No, you were just asking them if they like something or not. Some of them will respond. Some of them may not respond. Who cares, right? At the end of the day, any information that you get back is good information, okay? So they're telling you they like it, awesome. Now you can kind of put that in your customer notes. That's what I do. So when I get it, I will put it in my customer notes. I go onto the workstation, I put it in the notes, and I put, loves, liked Sunshine Mango, for example. So that way when I get another scent that's maybe more fresh and fruity a little bit, right? A little bit on that edge, I'll know, oh my gosh, Melissa loved that scent. She might like this one. It reminds me of Sunshine Mango, right? So again, it's just ways that I can follow up and be more personalized with my customers. And your customers are going to thank you for it. I promise you they are. You're going to see an increase. All right, so I put a follow-up date of when I am going to follow up. That's right, because I'm going to do it. And then I just have this, oh my gosh, the fan. I just have this little quote down here, and it just says, consistency is more important than perfection. This is more or less a note for myself, because I tend to be an overthinker. Have you met me? Okay, I overthink everything. I overanalyze everything. And yes, with my OCD type A, whatever it is that you want to call it, I tend to be like, oh, I don't want to send it out unless it's perfect. Okay, here's the thing. Just doing it is better than not having it go out at all. So just doing it, getting the task done is better than it being perfect. Okay, so this is just a reminder to myself, a reminder to me that I just need to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect every time. I don't have to sit here for hours slaving over what do I want the design to look like this month or whatever. No. So if you watch that video, you'll see just how quickly I threw that together and how I kind of did all of that. But the point being is this, just getting it done. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get done. Okay. Your customers are not going to nitpick and be like, oh, she chose that font. They could give no, they don't care. They don't care. Let's just leave it at that. They don't care. And I just have a picture of bars down there because it kind of looks like samples. I don't know. I'm visual, okay? I'm visual. Okay, and then on this side, it just says customer name and then date mailed. So I just literally go down. There's 25 that fits on one sheet of paper. Again, you will get the Canva template to this. So if you want to shorten, make these smaller, you can do that so you can have more on one page. You can do it on both sides if you want. You just copy that table and throw it on the back side, and you can print on both sides if you need more room. Honestly, if I do more than 25 samples, I just use another piece of paper. That's all I do, okay? Continued, page 1, page 2, page 3. Again, it depends on kind of what my budget is, how I'm sending it out, how many people I'm sending it out to. Because sometimes it might be if I had a large amount of customers like in the last 30 days or in the last 2 months, right? Again, you see where I'm going, right? The list could be longer. So my business budget is there for a reason, right? It's there to keep me at a budget. So if I'm wanting to reach out, or maybe you want to personalize it to the customers you think will like this or would be interested in this case, like the Father's Day collection, you're like, oh my gosh, I know right off the top of my head, 10 people, I know they haven't ordered in a while, but I know that they love like these more manly, masculine scents, right? Definitely put them on your list, right? If this is something that you're doing. Same thing with the Sunshine Mango, okay? That's how I kind of look in my customer list. So while, yes, I do try and look back between like the last 30 to 90 days, I'm also looking for those consistent customers of mine who have been long-term customers or who are customers who do order, but I know that they're very specific in what they're ordering. They're going on the list depending on what it is that I'm sending out, okay? So depending on your budget is going to depend on how many you need, and maybe you don't even need all 25. That's cool too, okay? So just print out the paper. So here's, like I said, I'm going to show you. I'm going to black out the customer names, but so I actually did 25 last month. So I did 25. You can see up there, scent of the month. What does that say? Felt sample, Sunshine Mango. And then the extras were club flyer, scent of the month flyer, quick post-it note. And then my follow-up date is 5/3. So on 5/3 is when I went back and I actually followed up with all of these customers. And then when I do that, I just put a little star next to the name, right? And that way I know, okay, I sent them an email. 9 times out of 10, that's how I do it, is I send an email. If you do project broadcast, or if you text, or if you do Facebook, right, blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blank with how you follow up. I really don't care. It's your business, not mine. This is how I do mine, okay? So that's literally how I do it every single month, all right? So I've got that one. Like I said, the ones that are going out for the Father's Day collection, I'm going to be filling this piece of paper out for those, and then I will set my date. Again, it kind of depends. There's no hard, fast rule on like, okay, it needs to be X amount of days from the day I mailed it out. I usually will do anywhere around like the 2 to 3 week mark. I sent those in April out. Oh, shoot, I just put it away. I sent those out on 4/15, and my follow-up date was 5/3. So I gave it, about 2 weeks or so. 5/3 just happened to be the day that I was like, this is my day for follow-ups on my samples. So again, you want to look at your business planner, right? How are you working your business? How are you being intentional? pick your day that you're going to do these things, okay? So for me, I do emails, so that's just what I do. I import my emails. I use Flowdesk, so it's just very easy for me to just import those people. I create a new segment, so all I have to do is just import that segment into my email, shoot it out the door. But it doesn't have to be that fancy. You can just do it from your Gmail, your Yahoo, whatever. You can do it from your workstation. I really, again, fill in the blank. It doesn't matter to me how you do your business. That's just simply how I do mine. But that for me is just how I communicate with my customers is email. So that's kind of how I do it when it comes to that. Again, the biggest part of doing samples, while it is fun and maybe it's something that you enjoy too, I do enjoy it. It brings me joy. I love making samples. It's one of the happy places of my Scentsy business, right? I just love it. It's something that I enjoy doing. And so because I enjoy doing it, that's why I work it into my monthly plan for my business. Okay, that's why this has become a non-negotiable, because for one, it's giving me a reason to send something happy to customers in the mail. I love being able to make somebody happy when they go to the mailbox. I don't know about y'all, but I have never, after all the years of buying as whatever I buy off of Etsy or the TikTok shop or whatever, Amazon, okay, people don't send me thank you mail, for one, and secondly, they certainly don't send me a sample of something that's coming up. Do you know how many scrub hats I've bought off of Amazon? Do you think any of those do you think any of those Etsy sellers have sent me a free scrub hat? Or even like, hey, here's some samples of some different fabric. Would you like a hat? Like, I would love that if they did that for me, and they would be like my go-to scrub hat person from then on out. So what do I want? What would I expect if I was a customer? I would love to get some happy mail. So that's what I want to give to my customers, right? I want them to continue to choose me as their Scentsy consultant, because let's be honest, right? There's a lot of consultants out there. Maybe they know a couple, maybe they have friends, maybe they have family members who are Scentsy consultants, but they're like, no, I got a Scentsy person. It's me, okay? I'm their Scentsy person. So I want to give them a reason to come back to me, and that is part of why I will tell you right here and right now that following up on the samples you send out is going to make a difference in your business. Like I said, I did it for years. I never followed up. When I started following up, and especially when I started doing it consistently, every single time that I sent out samples, I started noticing that those customers were very quickly turning into returning customers. And they were returning sooner than what they previously had. For example, I have a customer named Nicole, and Nicole has been a customer of mine, for a long time. Obviously, I've asked her numerous times about joining. She doesn't care about joining. She likes to order from me usually once a catalog season, okay? Sometimes it's right when the catalog comes out. Other times it's a few months in, whatever. I don't know what her world looks like, but that's how often she orders, right? So I usually get like 2 nice size orders in a year, right? Now, to some, that may be like, oh, well, that's somebody I probably wouldn't send a sample to. Okay, well, for me, those 2 nice size orders that she puts in once a catalog, that's a big deal to me, right? I want her to feel appreciated and valued. And so when I include her on my samples, again, because I know what she's ordering, right? Because I've had her as a customer for so long. But I've just gotten used to the things that she likes, the kinds of scents that she likes. So when a sample comes out, okay, like last month it was Sunshine Mango, because like I said, I honestly just love that flippin' scent. But it was Sunshine Mango, and I was like, oh my gosh, she loves the same kinds of scents that I do. I mean, I should actually add her to the Father's Day collection too, because I do know that she likes some of those as well. But I digress. I get excited. But I sent her a sample. And I was like, oh, but I know she's already done her, spring and summer order, so she probably won't even, she'll get it, but she probably won't even think twice about it. So when I did my follow-up, and I included her in my email, and of course part of the email was, you know, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you have a chance to throw it in your warmer, right? Because it's a felt sample. They can just throw those in the warmer. And I remember sending them out. I did my follow-up emails, sent those out. And it wasn't that day, it was in the next day. I want to say it was like maybe 3 or 4 days later, maybe almost a week later, something like that. I got an email back, and I was like, oh, look, Nicole's email. Oh, Nicole emailed me. Okay, what she want? Maybe she wants something. Maybe she needs some bulbs or something, right? I pop open the email. I'm in the middle of work. I pop open the email, and she was like, Jacqui, oh my gosh, you were so right. That scent is amazing. I'm adding it to my Scentsy club. I'm creating one right now, and I'm adding it to the club. She didn't have a club order before, friends. Okay, so she has now created a club order. She created a club order, and it was something that she has now put into her club order. Now her club order runs every 3 months now. That's awesome, right? Because you're able to see that in your workstation. In case you didn't know, you can check that stuff out. But I did, of course, check it out. Whenever somebody new subscribes to club, I like to check it out. I like to tell them thank you, blah, blah, blah. But the whole point of that is that I thought of her because I knew those types of scents that she liked, and I sent her something. Again, it didn't matter if she was going to order or create a club, right, or not, right? I know that she's going to continue to order from me because she's just an amazing person, but she loves Scentsy. And so having that and doing that follow-up and reaching out to that customer made a difference. So that's just one of many stories that I could tell you of why you should be following up on the samples that you're sending out. And for 2, you really need to be intentional on those samples you're sending out. I will tell you, I watch a lot of Scentsy trainings, okay? Maybe it seems like, oh, she must know it all. She's been doing Scentsy for a while. I don't know it all. I certainly am not the smartest person in the room. And if I am, I will go to a new room, okay? Okay. So I am not the smartest person. I do not know all the things. But what I do know is that I will continue to change my business until I find the things that are working for my business. Because if I was still doing the same things that I was doing back when I first joined in 2012, I can tell you right here, right now, I would not have a thriving business. No, ma'am, would not have it. Okay, I've had to pivot. I've had to change things. I've had to try new things. I'd have to see, is this working for me? Is this not working for me? Does this make a difference if I do it this way? All of those things I've done. Okay, and my whole point in saying that is that if you think that, oh, well, that's just another thing I'd have to add to my workload, here is the big burrito. The big burrito is, do you want your business to grow? Do you want to create new relationships with your customers? Do you want those customers to be returning more frequently? Do you want those customers to be excited when they see an email or a Facebook message from you or a text or whatever it is that you send out? You need to be reaching out to them. Because here's the thing. Yes, they might just start flocking to you. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they will. But I will tell you that the more you reach out to your customers, the more you build relationships, the more that you continually show up for your customers, the more interested they're going to be in the things that we have to offer. Because at the end of the day, why are they buying Scentsy? They obviously like things that smell good. That is our job. We sell things that smell good. That's it. It's as simple as that. And we want to give our customers the things that they want in their homes. And we want to expose them to new scents when they're coming out. So, again, I'm going to make the little pivot here, and I'm going to tell you that maybe you don't get the scent of the month. Maybe that's out of your business budget, or you're too new of a consultant and you're like, yeah, I don't have enough, I don't have a business budget yet to be able to kind of do those things. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to, okay? For example, I got the whiff box for this month, right? Because, hello, it's the freaking whiff box. I love the whiff box. Okay, I got the whiff box. Now, lately, every single whiff box has been including 1 bar of the upcoming scent of the month. Now, I will tell you, I smelled the scent of the month for June. I like it. It's fine. It's not a horrible scent. It's probably not something that I am going to warm. Okay. So I realized that very quickly, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do the scent of the month this month because it's not for me. And it's not something that I can passionately get behind. But in the whiff box, they've been including at least a bar of the upcoming scent of the month. So even if you just get a whiff box, do you have a Scentsy club? Because I do. And I use it as my half price item. But so I get it for half price. So I'm just going to take that bar and make samples from that bar. Now, maybe you don't get the whiff box either, okay? I don't care. Take a bar of maybe something that you have on hand that is just a current scent. It doesn't have to be a new scent. It doesn't have to be the scent of the month. It can be Luna, for goodness sake. Tried and true. Tried and true. Okay? People love Luna. Okay? It is just one of the most popular scents that we sell. My point is, it doesn't have to be something new. You don't have to be spending money to get these new collections. Use what you have on hand. If you don't have things on hand, take some of your testers. Do you have testers? Okay. Okay. You can order yourself just 1 or 2 bars of a scent and decide that's what I'm going to send this month. Or take some of your testers. Here's the really cool thing with testers, okay? Sorry, Hero. He's laying right under my feet. Here's my cocoa lime, right? Here's the really cool thing with testers. You can take this and you can turn it upside down in your warmer, put it in an empty warmer dish, turn it upside down. The wax is just going to simply melt right out, and you're going to have, that's about a little over a cube, maybe it's 2 cubes, I don't remember exactly, but it's enough to make some samples, okay? You can take 1 tester a month. Did you know that you can order testers in your workstation? You can, okay? You can just order a couple testers and you can do it that way and just have some on hand. Pick some different ones. It doesn't matter. Again, the whole point is just to introduce your customers and engage with those customers. All right, so I'm going to drop the Canva link to that template for my follow-up system, so you can have that. If you want to know how I created these guys, then watch the last video. You can catch that on my YouTube. I will link it when this goes on YouTube. And on YouTube, this will be in the description. This template will be in the description. If you're interested in the binder system, well, I got a video of that too, okay? So I've got that with all of the links of all of the follow-up and the checklists that I do that are included in my binder, so you can get that off of that YouTube. All right, guys, so get to making samples, get to reaching out to your customers, decide what you want to do, make a plan, and put it into action, because that is the goal. Okay? We can make goals every single month, but we have to take action on the goals that we're making, and that's what we need to do. All right, until next week. Mwah! Peace, love, happiness. Bye.